Good afternoon once again. Am I audible?
Good afternoon, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Shivam. Am I audible to all others?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
ma'am.
So good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
So is the ritual of greeting your teachers or each other is outdated now? Is it outdated now? Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
So now teacher is supposed to be wishing. I mean, I'm an old student, like I passed out in 83. So maybe many of you are not many, all of you were not born at that time, I would say. So around 40 years ago, like we had a ritual that we used to wish teacher. And now I can see I am wishing you, I've wished you twice. But there's no response, no. Is it changed now? Am I outdated? Is it changed now? Is the reality changed now? Is the teacher supposed to be saying good morning and students not responding? Is that new? Is that something that's happening now? So that I also should stay updated, no? I should know what is happening around the world. So we are how many of us? 15. So I can see only some cameras on, or how many? 12 cameras are on. Those whose cameras are not on, can I request you to have your camera on? Otherwise, I think you can exit. In case if you don't want to have the camera on, then I can't see you, I can't interact with you, then what is the point of sitting behind the camera? So, कौन कौन है भी जिनका कैमरा ऑफ है जो ऑन नहीं? विकास, ओके, थैंक यू फॉर हैविंग योर कैमरा ऑन. और किस किस का कैमरा ऑन नहीं है? Siddhant, can I request you to have your camera on? Okay, so all of you have had lunch or no? No?
No, ma'am.
No.
इसलिए एनर्जी कम है. इसीलिए एनर्जी कम है. अच्छा, कितने लोग हैं जो बैग में कुछ खाने का रखकर चलते हैं, समथिंग लाइक फ्रूट और नट्स और समथिंग विच कैन गिव यू इंस्टेंट एनर्जी? चॉकलेट हो गया, कॉफी बाइट हो गया. कितने लोग हैं? हाथ खड़ा करें. नहीं, कोई नहीं, नोबडी. अब ऐसे में क्या होगा इफ यू आर नॉट लाइक कैरिंग एनीथिंग टू ईट, और अगर आप कहीं भी कुछ कर रहे हो, अभी तो क्लासरूम में बैठे हुए हो, बट टुमारो व्हेन यू विल बी विद योर पेशेंट्स, एनी आइडिया अगर आपकी ब्लड शुगर नीचे चली जाती है एंड यू आर हंग्री, what impact it will have on your overall performance and well-being? कुछ आइडिया है? स्नेहा क्या कहते हो?
Ma'am, obviously performance will be reduced. We may get fainted.
और क्या हो सकता है? कोई और बताना चाहेगा? विकास क्या कहते हो? नो आइडिया विकास? नहीं आइडिया? कोई आइडिया नहीं है क्या होगा?
नो मैम।
इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू नो। अगर आपको नहीं पता, कोई और बताना चाहेगा? रवि आप क्या कहते हो? अगर हमारा ब्लड शुगर नीचे चला जाता है और हम हाइपोग्लाइसीमिक हो जाते हैं तो क्या होता है?
We will not be able to do the work that we were doing.
एग्जैक्टली आप काम ही नहीं कर पाओगे बिकॉज एनर्जी नहीं होगी, कॉन्सेंट्रेट नहीं कर पाओगे, यहाँ तक कि आपकी इरिटेबिलिटी लेवल बढ़ जाएगा, जिटरी हो जाते हैं अगर हमारी ब्लड शुगर लेवल नीचे जाता है और हम लो फील करते हैं। फेंट होना और वो होना तो मैं मानती हूँ, जो अभी जैसा स्नेहा ने अभी बताया कि फेंट हो सकते हैं, गिर सकते हैं, वो डेफिनेटली होता है पर वो एक्सट्रीम उसमें होता है। बट टू स्टार्ट विद आपकी अटेंशन, कॉन्सेंट्रेशन, डिसीजन मेकिंग, ऑल दैट कैन गेट इम्पैक्टेड। पार्टिसिपेशन लो हो जाता है, डल फील करते हैं, स्लीपी फील करते हैं। सो मेक इट अ हैबिट टू हैव समथिंग टू ईट। फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर आपका अभी क्लास 1 to 3 रखा है इन्होंने because of so many reasons, and you know you will be taking your lunch after 3, is that true?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ, अगर 3 बजे के बाद लंच करोगे तो ये 2 घंटे जो है naturally you'll feel low on energy. So you should always keep something in your bag which can give you some instant energy. It can be fruit, it can be nuts, it could be anything, but that कोई जैसे आजकल तो जूसेस वगैरह भी छोटे पॉलिस में आ जाते हैं, बॉटल में आते हैं, तो keep that in your bag so that you can immediately have and bring up your energy. Okay, so any idea what this session is all about? सिद्धांत क्या कहते हो?
Ma'am, improving communication skills, how to interact with patients and all in the medical.
तो सिद्धांत, पेशेंट के साथ कम्युनिकेशन की अभी हम बात नहीं कर रहे, वो हम कभी लेटर स्टेज पे करेंगे जब आप लोग एक्चुअली पेशेंट्स को डील करना शुरू करोगे। सो राइट नाउ यू आर इंटरैक्टिंग विद योर क्लासमेट्स, योर जूनियर्स, टीचर्स, एंड ऑफ कोर्स द ओवरऑल स्टाफ ऑफ योर कॉलेज एंड हॉस्पिटल। जो भी सपोर्ट स्टाफ है, ऑफिस स्टाफ है, उनके साथ आप इंटरैक्ट करते हैं। सो what kind of challenges do you normally experience when you are interacting with your teachers or with your hospital authorities or support staff or caretakers? Normally, what kind of challenges do you experience? शिवम क्या कहते हो?
Fear of speaking in front of many people.
Fear of speaking, आपने बोला? Very right. I think we normally feel कि किसी अथॉरिटी फिगर के साथ बात कर रहे हैं तो डर रहता है कि कुछ हमारे मुंह से गलत ना निकल जाए या कोई बात बुरी ना लग जाए। I agree with you. Sapna, what else do you think? What kind of challenges do we experience when we are interacting with teachers and people in authority and even our hospital support staff? और कोई बताना चाहेगा? सीमा आप क्या कहते हो?
मैम, हेजिटेशन।
हेजिटेशन होती है। मन में क्या ख्याल होता है, किस वजह से हेजिटेशन होती है?
मैम कि कुछ गलत भी ना बोल दे।
कुछ गलत। आई एग्री, बिकॉज बहुत बार ये मन में रहता है कि पता नहीं मेरी बात गलत गलत मतलब ना निकल जाए या मेरी बात का बुरा ना मान जाए और किसी वजह से मेरा इंप्रेशन खराब ना हो जाए, कोई नाराजगी ना हो जाए। पर अब तो आप लोग सेकंड ईयर में हो तो काफी कॉन्फिडेंट हो गए होगे अब तो। isn't it? है ना? अब तो लगता होगा नहीं, we can talk to anybody and everybody. But then lot of your success in interacting with them comes from your communication and interpersonal skills. So before we go further in the session, I just want to share technology reminder with all of you so that we all know what we are going to follow as a code of conduct. And then I will request everyone to give their introduction. So I would request everyone to keep your video on and also keep the gallery view on so that you can see everybody. Keep your device on mute mode. When you answer, you can unmute and then you can go back to, mute mode. If you're moving somewhere for a minute or two, like 30 seconds, you can stop the video, go and sit at that place. That's okay. Don't keep the video on when you are moving from one place to another, because that causes a lot of disturbance on others' screen. So there will be some message in the chat box. Keep reading. If you need to respond, you should respond. And then please have your proper name on the login, because you are, like your attendance is marked on the basis of your name that you are showing here. So make sure that your name is correct in the login ID. Okay. Then, of course, the second step is I want to inform you or remind you that in this program, please speak for yourself, be mindful of others. Don't say anything that hurts others or humiliates or insults others. We'll be discussing a lot of things. You may come up with something, but we all will follow the code of conduct that whatever we discuss here will stay here and will not be sharing with anybody. Stay engaged, stay attentive, because only through participation you will be able to learn. So no phone call and no in between, switching off the camera. And then if you are giving feedback for anybody, please make sure that it is positive, specific, and non-judgmental. And trust is earned and it takes time. I know we are interacting for the first time, so you will not immediately have my trust in my whatever I'm saying. But then I'm sure as we further interact, trust will be built automatically. So let's start with the small activity on introduction. And in the introduction, tell your name and tell about yourself. And then name one fruit or a vegetable that you relate with, that you think that, yes, I relate with this. So maybe I will start the introduction, and who will keep the time? Can I request somebody to keep the time? कोई stopwatch on कर सकता है? प्रिया आप करोगे? प्रिया शर्मा?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So everybody will get 30 seconds time. So take 1 minute to first of all note down what you would like to tell about yourself, and then which fruit or vegetable do you think you want to relate with. Take 1 minute and note down your points so that when you speak, you don't have to think. You are ready with what you want to say. विकास आप लिख रहे हो? रवि आप लिख रहे हो?
Yes, ma'am.
So प्रिया 1 मिनट हो गया तो बता दो, हो गया 1 मिनट?
Yes, ma'am.
हो गया 1 मिनट कि नहीं? आपने ध्यान नहीं दिया, नहीं?
फिर से बताती हूँ मैम.
Unmute your device. Yeah. शुरू करें? Everybody ready? Or you need little more time? Siddhant, you need time? Shivam, do you need time? Or you're ready?
Ready, ma'am.
Okay. Shivam, are you also ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Shivam Sharma also. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Thank you. So I'll make the beginning, and after that I'll request somebody to do it. I'll forward the name. So and I'll be taking just 30 seconds to introduce so that we all follow the rules. So I'm Dr. Indu Arneja, and I'm founder director, Indian Institute of Healthcare Communication. I'm visiting faculty to very prestigious organizations like IIM Ahmedabad, Accelerate Jamshedpur, Delhi Judicial Academy, Maulana Azad Medical College, and many other hospitals and medical colleges. So I'm basically a psychologist and a communication trainer. And very recently, I have written a book on fundamentals of clinical communication for medical students, because I'm working with Maulana Azad Medical College for almost 10 years. So I've written a book on fundamentals of communication. So when it comes to whom do I really relate with, I think I would say I relate with coriander. Coriander पता है ना सबको? धनिया. तो धनिया देखने में बहुत ही वो लगता है, पर जब खाने में डल जाता है तो खाने का फ्लेवर चेंज हो जाता है. तो I believe I add flavor to life. So I hope I'll be able to add some flavor to your life also. So that's my introduction, and I pass the baton to Sneha. Sneha, go ahead. Introduce yourself, please.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Sneha. I'm from Jeet, Haryana. I'm a second year Mbbs student at AIIMS Jammu. I love painting, fine arts, watching movies, web series, and I can relate to mango. That's my favorite fruit. That's sweet and strong like me.
Wow.
That's it.
Thank you. Thank you, Sneha. Wonderful introduction. Shivam Sharma, go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Shivam Sharma. I am from Ludhiana, Punjab. I relate myself with an apple because I am tough, hardworking, and responsible also, and give always my I always give my 100% to every work.
Very good. Thank you, Shivam. That was wonderful. Ravi, can I request you to introduce yourself?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am, and good afternoon all. My name is Ravi Kumar. I am from Kurukshetra, Haryana. My hobby is listening to music, and I can relate myself to, I think, potato, because everyone says that I'm round, so that's why.
You're round, or you mix well with people, because potatoes mix very well with every vegetable.
Yes, ma'am. This can also be burned.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Ravi. Okay. Vikash, can I request you to introduce yourself?
Good afternoon, myself Vikas Sir, and I am from Jodhpur, Rajasthan. And my hobbies are poetry and playing volleyball and almost all games.
Very
I relate myself with banana because जब भी कभी इंस्टेंट एनर्जी चाहिए तो हमारे पास कोई जैसे बनाना होती है तो
Very good. So you think you provide energy to people?
yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So Shivani, can I request you to introduce yourself?
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Shivani from Chandigarh and second year MBBS student at AIIMS Jammu. My hobbies include playing badminton and I love cricket. And I've recently started reading novels, and that is the best time I spent when I read novels. And I would relate to banana since it is available all the seasons. So in the same way, I also mix with with everyone. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Shivani. So, Siddhant, can I request you to introduce yourself?
Good afternoon, man. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Siddhant Sharda. I am from Madhubani, Bihar. Presently, second year MBBS student at AIIMS Jammu. And my hobby includes mainly playing table tennis. Whenever I feel stress, I just release my stress by playing table tennis. And I can relate with the mango because people and in my family background, all of says you have lots of variety, just like mango, sweet and
Thank you.
tasty.
Thank you. So, Tanay, am I right? Tanay, ठीक बोल रहा नाम आपका मैंने?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, Tanay, can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am and friends. I am Taneraj of AIIMS Jammu, second year student. I am from Agra, UP, and I like to play games, both esports and sports. And I am also very good at technology. And vegetable I relate to is onion because I have layers. People think they know me, but then surprise, I have another layer. Thank you, ma'am.
So, you're mysterious? You think
Yes,
you're mysterious?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. But how many people feel comfortable interacting with a mysterious person? Tanay, if I may ask you this.
Yes, ma'am. And they don't know that I am mysterious.
No, but do you think people
That's
feel
it.
comfortable? Do you think
No,
they
ma'am.
enjoy being the person who's mysterious?
No, ma'am. They like
We'll
open.
discuss it.
Yes.
Yes, but we'll discuss this. You have brought in a very beautiful point. Okay, Sapna, if I may request you to introduce.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Myself, Sapna Saharan from Hanumangarh, Rajasthan. My hobbies are playing volleyball and listening music.
सपना कैमरा ऐसे सेट करो कि मुझे आपका चेहरा दिखे. Keep it in a manner so that I can see you. अभी पता है कहाँ जा रहा है? नेक के पर जा रहा है कैमरा. अब बोलो दोबारा से.
Myself, Sapna Saharan from Hanumangarh, Rajasthan. My hobbies are playing volleyball and listening music. I would like to relate myself to mango. It's my favorite fruit.
मैंगो सीजनल भी है ना और आजकल बहुत मीठा भी आ रहा है ना. वेरी स्वीट मैम. थैंक यू सपना. सीमा, बताओ अपने बारे में कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. Myself, Seema Chaudhary from Jaipur, Rajasthan, and my hobbies are painting and crafting. Ma'am, I relate myself to the onion because I have also different layers. When I interact with my friends, I have different opinions about them, and when I relate with my seniors, I shy with them.
Thank you that you have expressed yourself very well. Thank you, Seema. Wonderful. So Shivam Goyal, can I request you to introduce?
Good afternoon, ma'am, and good afternoon, everyone. I am Shivam Goyal from Faridabad, Haryana. I am MBBS 2020 batch student, and I like everything related to fitness and health. I would like to relate with Apple, healthy and classic.
Okay, thank you for being crisp and short. Thank you. Shubham Chaudhary. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Shubham Chaudhary. I belong to Barauni, Bihar, and I'm presently second year MBBS student at AIIMS Jammu. I would like to relate myself to a coconut. It's different from outside and inside, and not everyone can get through.
Oh, interesting. Very interesting, Shubham.
Thank you.
Very interesting. Thank you. So, Rakhi, if I may request you to please introduce. Yeah. Rakhi, you are not audible. I think there's some network issue on your side.
Yes.
I think there's some network issue.
Chili.
I think it's better if you sit at a place where there's good network. So meanwhile, I think I'll ask Priya to introduce by the time you settle yourself. And
good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, good afternoon.
My name is Priya Sharma. I am from Rajasthan. My hobby is listening music and singing. I can relate myself with walnut. Because मैम ये बाहर से बहुत टफ होता है, अंदर से बहुत सॉफ्ट होता है.
Okay. So you think you're very tough to look at, but you're soft inside?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That's very nice. Thank you. So Preetam, I think Preetam is left.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I am Pritam Sani. I am from Sikar, Rajasthan. My hobbies are playing volleyball and cricket. And crabs are very sweet and soft.
So you are relating with grapes? Is
Yes,
that right? Okay. Okay. Very, very different fruit you have chosen. Everybody's talking about apple, banana, and mangoes, but very nice. You have chosen a different fruit. That's perfectly fine. Thank you. So who else is left? Shivani, I think you are left. And then Shivam, who else is left? Shivani, go ahead.
Ma'am, I have done.
You have done. You have done. Yeah. Who else is left? Please raise your hand.
Yes.
Okay, Preetam, Sani, and Priya Sharma. Please sit in front of the camera because the camera is facing the fan. So that's not done. Okay. So if I may ask you, what did you observe in this introduction? Like you heard everybody. Don't name the person, but in general, what was your observation? Do you think they introduced very well, very effectively, very nicely, or something very different? What do you think? Rakhi, you're moving a lot and you're not sitting at one place and then you're keeping your camera on. I think you heard the technology reminder where I requested if you're moving around, please keep your camera off or sit at a place and then have your camera on. It causes a lot of disturbance. So what did you observe in the introduction? Was it impressive? Was it impactful? And why am I putting so much emphasis on introduction? Any idea? Is introduction important? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
It's important. But how many of us really know how to introduce ourselves? See, our introduction is like our visiting card, verbal visiting card. When you introduce yourself, the other person gets to know who you are, what do you do, and how you can be of some help to the other person. If I may share my experience of introduction, I had gone somewhere as a student. I'm talking about almost like 10 years ago. I had gone for a program. It was on quality implementation, and I had gone there as a participant, as a student. So there they were taking everybody's introduction, and so do they asked me to introduce. And the way I asked you to write about yourself, I wrote about myself, what I want to tell. I took just 30 seconds to 1 minute to write the keywords. And then I introduced myself that this is what I am, this is what I do. After the session, during the tea break, that same person who had taken everybody's introduction, he came up to me and he said, ma'am, we are doing programs for doctors, 4 programs in a month. And we are looking for somebody who can do communication training because we don't have many people who are doing this work. Can you take this program? I agreed and I did 1 program and they really liked it. Any idea how many programs I must have done for them? Guess? 500 programs. So you never know when the opportunity may strike. So when you introduce yourself, always put your best foot forward, introduce confidently, know about yourself, know what you do. And if you're able to showcase how you can be of great help to the other person, automatically your opportunities open. So always introduce yourself very impactfully. Okay. Write in the chat box, what do you think, what percentage of your personal and professional success comes from your communication and interpersonal skills? Write in the chat box, all of you. Should I repeat the question? Write in the chat box, what percentage of your personal and professional success comes from your communication and interpersonal skills? Okay, so I've received some answers, very nice. Ravi says 60, Sneha also says 60, Seema says 80, Vikas says 60, Shivam says 70 to 80, Tane says above 80, Siddhant says 70, Shubham Chaudhary is very precise, 85%. Shivam Sharma is 60, and then 70, 60, 17. Quite close, quite close. Suham. Is it Shuham or Suham? Chaudhary. Who is Shuham Chaudhary? I can't see you, and then, okay. Shubham hai, Shubham hai.
Ma'am, Shubham Chaudhary.
शुभम है बेटा, तो आपका नाम आपने गलत टाइप करा हुआ है। मैं पहले शुभम ही सोच रही थी, पर लिखने में आपने शुभम लिखा हुआ है, बी की जगह एच टाइप।
Sorry, ma'am.
No, it's okay. You know, this is a study by Harvard. It says that 85% of your personal and professional success comes from your communication and interpersonal skills. So today you are all at AIIMS. So you're at equal starting point. 10 years down the line, you will not be at the same place. Many of you will be extremely successful, and many of you may be average performers. Not because you are less intelligent, because if you're already here, that means you are hardworking, you are intelligent, you are doing well. But ultimate success in life, in terms of your professional achievement and your personal satisfaction, will come from your communication and interpersonal skills. A small example of it is, now some of you must be interacting with your teachers very promptly. Like when your teacher asks something, you would answer. Or if you don't understand something, you will question. You will ask further explanation. But some of you will be just keeping quiet. Not that you are not listening or you are not attentive, but you are just not participating. Now imagine the student who is interacting with the teacher, asking questions, answering the questions. Naturally, the teacher will be able to immediately identify those handful of students that, okay, these students are very attentive in the class. They participate, they interact, they come and they study and come. So obviously, their interaction with the teacher will be much more than any other student. Automatically, if there's any opportunity tomorrow for anything, some responsibility, some new challenge, some new program, some new project, some activity, the teacher will remember their name. Students who are quiet, students who are not participating, students who are silently sitting in the class, since the teacher has not interacted, so teacher has no idea about your abilities. So as a result, your growth chart will be very different from those students who are participating, who are interacting with the teacher. That shows their confidence, that shows their language skills, that shows their, being present in the system. So participating in the classroom is not just for attending the class, but your overall, trajectory will be very different. So Harvard did this study. they contacted the alumni of Harvard University with the idea that students who were academically very well, they must have been, real achievers and must have been really very successful in life. So when they tried to collect this information about the alumni of Harvard students, to their surprise, students with average performance in college, but high EQ, high interpersonal skills, were more successful than students who were achievers in terms of their academic performance, but did not have very good interpersonal and communication skills. So therefore, this session for all of you has been designed with the idea that right in the beginning, if you understand its importance in your life, in your growth, in your studentship, naturally your interaction with your fellow students, with your juniors, with your teachers, with other hospital staff will be very different, because we'll be aware that I need to speak, I need to talk, I need to participate. And then when this will become your practice, tomorrow interacting with your patients will not be a problem. Some of the very wonderful clinicians, but with poor communication skills, face more challenges with their patients and their families than doctors who are average otherwise, but they have good communication and interpersonal skills. Because it's all about interacting with your patient. If your patient wants to understand what is my disease condition, what treatment options I have, what are you going to suggest to me, what is the risk in each treatment option, and if you are able to answer those questions confidently, comfortably, happily, your patient is going to go back satisfied. On the contrary, there are doctors who don't like to speak. They're not fond of answering questions. They don't like to interact much with the patients. I'm sure you will have a lot of examples around you. So you will see the patient satisfaction will not be much. Naturally, if your patient satisfaction is not much, in government setup, it is okay because you have hundreds of patients waiting for you. If that patient does not come back, you're okay with that. But what about tomorrow when you will be, in practice or having your independent, clinic? So their patients will come to you because they want to come to you. If you don't have good communication skills, if you're not able to build good rapport, if you're not able to satisfy them, they are not going to come back to you. That's one of the reasons why quacks are doing better than qualified doctors, because they are better than us in terms of their communication and interpersonal skills. So an optimum level of communication and interaction is very important to win your patient's trust. But that's a far thing, because right now it's your interaction with your teachers. So from when are you going to start interacting with your patients? Next year or this year itself?
This year.
Uh-huh.
This year.
This year. So naturally, I think you will start at least collecting history. That's the first thing that you'll be doing, collecting history.
Yes, sir.
So if you're able, especially see, for example, for collecting history also, now if you're interacting with your teacher, with your patient, and you're looking like, inconfident, not very forthcoming, not very prompt in interacting, your patient will not have confidence in you. They might even tell on your face, आप तो बच्चे से लग रहे हो, मैं आपको नहीं दिखाऊंगा या मैं आपको नहीं बताऊंगा. Or they may share some information, but they may not share very important personal information, especially something like about domestic violence or some sexual abuse or some personal information which is very intimate to them and they don't want to share with anybody. They will not share with you. So to win your patient's confidence, to make them feel that I can interview you, I can collect history confidently, you will have to display some skills. And all that is based on your communication and interpersonal skills. So that's the importance of communication skills in your life. It's right from now, not just when you start actually independently handling your patient. This is like your playground, right from now till you start your residency, where you will interact with patients under the care of your seniors. But tomorrow you will be practicing independently. So you really need to have these skills. So learn these skills as much as possible. Now, if I may, all of you have a copy and a pen with you? Okay. So draw one circle on your notebook, on the piece of page, right? Draw one circle. And in that circle, write me, M-E, me. Draw another circle outside. So in that circle, write the initials of people whom you think they are your first support system. Don't write the full name because then you will not have enough space, but you can write your initials or your relationship, maybe like mama, papa, brother, sister, cousin, friend, anybody whom you think. So that's your first support system. Then draw second circle and write the second support system people who are not very close, not like your go-to people, but yes, you think they are of help. In case if you need help, they are of help. Again, you can write the initials instead of name to save time. So if I may ask you to write in the chat box, whom all have you written in your first circle? Like your go-to people. Whom all have you mentioned? Write in the chat box. Okay, Ravi has written father, mother, and brother, absolutely. Then Shivani has written family and close friends. Sneha has written my parents and my brother, family. Rakhi has written parents. Tane has written immediate family, absolutely. Vikash has written my brother, wonderful. Seema says papa, mummy, and brother, then family and friends. Parents, sisters, family, and close friends. Okay, wonderful, excellent. So I think all of you have written your parents and your your brother or sister or your sibling, or maybe close friends whom you really relate with. So whose all name have you written in the second circle of support? Okay, friends, teachers, okay. Priya says friends, okay. Friends, brother, sister, best friends, okay. Friends, close relatives, okay. Close friends, other friends, and relatives, okay. Now, if I tell you friends, teachers and friends, this is written by Sapna, okay. So right now, when you are in college, your immediate support system is not your family and your friends, because they are at a far off place. They're not living with you. Maybe you can take their advice. Maybe you can call and share your concerns with them. But in reality, if you need any immediate help, it's actually your teachers, your friends, and the hospital and the college staff who will come to your help. But it will not happen automatically. You will have to make efforts to build kind of a relationship where you can consider that, yes, they will be there to stand by me or stand by us. But for that, we need to have a kind of a personality where people feel like coming out of the way and helping us. For example, one of you might go and tell to your teacher that this is my problem and I need help. Teacher might immediately come up and support you or give you the required help. But some of you may not even be confident to go to your teachers because you have not been able to develop that kind of a relationship with your teachers. So a lot depends on your personality type. Like for example, some of you gave very good example, like Shubham said that I'm like a coconut. Is that right, Shubham? That's what you said?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So what exactly you meant by that?
Ma'am, I meant that from outside I'm different and from inside I'm different.
Okay.
Not everyone can know. Means they all can see from outside, but from inside they can't know.
Absolutely.
Only I can let them.
Fine. So Shubham, all of us have some things that are just close to us and we don't share with anybody and everybody. It's all right. That's our private zone. Everybody will have. I don't think there's anybody who can say that there is nothing that I've hidden from my friends or family or anybody. There will be a couple of things that will be part of your private self, which is perfectly all right. But for example, if that's the way I deal with people, that's the way I deal with life, that's the way I deal with my family and everybody, do you think people will be comfortable dealing with a person who is different inside and different outside? क्या कहते हो शुभम?
Maybe or maybe not.
Okay, will you be comfortable dealing with the person who is different inside and different outside?
I'm like that, so maybe.
I agree. See, all of us are of a particular type till we don't know the benefit and the disadvantage of that type. I'm perfectly agreeing with you. You said this is what I am, but I'm trying to help you understand. See, when we think I am like this and this is what I am, it's okay to start with, but is this way good for me or bad for me? That's a very mindful process we have to learn. Like Tane said, Tane, are you there? I can't see you. So can you keep your cameras on, all of you? Fine. So Tane, you said that I relate myself with onion because onion has multiple layers. So when you tell something like this, it's very mysterious. It's really enjoyable. Oh, I'm very mysterious. People can't know my inner core. But ask me or tell me honestly, will you be comfortable interacting with the person or dealing with the person who is not really understandable, who is very mysterious? Will you enjoy that person's company?
Sometimes, not all the time.
Not always. Will you have him or her as your close friend, as your best friend?
No.
No. See, we think that, oh, I am very mysterious, I'm very different inside, people don't know me. But how much does that really help? Is that useful in my life? Is that going to help me grow as a human being? That's something that's very interesting to understand about. So has anybody heard of the concept Johari window? किसी ने सुना हुआ नाम जोहारी विंडो के नाम से? नहीं? So Joe and Harry were two social scientists. They gave this concept called Johari window. Now it's normally called as Johari window, and it's a very well-known concept. Very beautifully, they have given a concept that we all have different aspects of our personality, different portions of our personality. So one portion is which everybody knows. One portion is which only I know. Interestingly, there's one portion which others know and I don't know. Do you know this? What is that portion? What could be that portion which others know and I don't know? Guess? शिवम शर्मा, क्या कहते हो?
नेचर कैसा है?
स्पेसिफिक कुछ बताओ नेचर में. बात तो ठीक कर रहे हो, जवाब तो ठीक है.
कि ज्यादा रूट तो नहीं है ऐसे.
ज्यादा
रूड तो नहीं है, मतलब अपने में रहता है।
हाँ, बहुत बारी हम रूड होते हैं और हमें नहीं पता लगता। बहुत बारी हम दूसरों को बहुत हर्ट करते हैं और हमें नहीं पता लगता। बहुत बारी हम झूठ बोल रहे होते हैं और हम सोचते हैं किसी को नहीं पता, और एक्चुअली सबको पता होता है कि हम झूठ बोल रहे होते हैं। कहते हैं ना, उसके जाने के बाद गप मार रहा है, ये लंबी लंबी छोड़ रहा है। उसे नहीं पता होता कि मैं लंबी लंबी छोड़ रहा हूँ, सब लोगों को पता लग रहा है कि मैं लंबी लंबी छोड़ रहा हूँ, पर एक्चुअली सबको पता होता है। सो हमारी ज्यादातर कमियां हमें नहीं पता होती और वो दूसरों को ज्यादा अच्छी पता होती है। तो एक इंटरेस्टिंग एक्टिविटी करते हैं। मैं आपको एक स्लाइड दिखाने जा रही हूँ, और उस स्लाइड में मैं चाहती हूँ कि आप अपने लिए वो 5 क्वालिटीज ढूंढें जो आपको लगता है कि आपके अंदर हैं। ठीक है? गिव मी अ सेकंड टू शेयर दिस स्लाइड विद यू। Okay, so each one of you write 5 adjectives that you think really suit your personality type. And write those adjectives in the, keep it with you, and write in a horizontal manner, or sorry, vertical manner, in a column. And write done in the chat box after you have done it. Write done in the chat box after you have done this. Okay, Sneha has done it. Who else? I don't think it should take very long. Okay, Siddhant has done. Rakhi has done. Priya has done. Ravi has done. Okay, Preetham has done. Sunny has done. Who else? Shivam has done. Okay, good. Okay, so I'm showing you the next slide. Again, pick 5 adjectives from this list that you think describe you well. After you have done it, please write done in the chat box. Write done in the chat box. Three people have done till now. Seema, Siddhant, Priya, Rakhi, 4. Okay. Who else? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Now I need one volunteer who wants to know about oneself. Anyone who wants to know about oneself. Okay. Thank you, Siddhant, for raising your hand. Thank you. So, Siddhant, you have noted 5 adjectives, positive adjectives that you think describe you well, and
Yes, ma'am.
5 negative adjectives that you think belong to you. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So, you have written 10 adjectives. Okay. Now, friends, I would ask you to, I'll be showing the screen once again. And I will ask you to pick one adjective that you think will fit well for Siddhant, because you all know him well for the last 1 year or so, more than 1 year. But we are going to pick only positive adjectives because the idea is not to hurt anybody here. But Siddhant, that will give you a wonderful idea about yourself, which I'll discuss further. And I want everybody to give at least one good adjective that you think will fit well to Siddhant. So let me share the screen once again with you. And I want you to read that adjective from this list and write in the chat box. And Siddhant, you have to keep noting down that. If it is already there, then you will say known to me. And if it is not there, then it is new. That means it's something new. So each one of you, please write one adjective that you think fits very well for Siddhant. Go ahead. Okay, confident. 2 people are saying confident, Ravi and Rakhi. Thank you, Ravi and Rakhi, for being the first one. What do others say? Friendly, okay. Cheerful. So I have 4 answers till now. Friendly, okay. Confident, okay. Confident. Caring, very nice. Friendly. Any more answers? Any more answers? Okay. So, Siddhant, in the list, some answers I'm sure must have been already on your list. Okay, Vikash has written calm. That's the last answer I think Vikash has written. Great. So, in the list, there must be some adjectives that others have given you which were already there. Can you tell those which were already there on your list?
Ma'am, only one that was confident.
Okay. So rest 4 were, and what were the rest 4 that you had written for yourself?
Ma'am, friendly, cheerful, caring, and calm.
Okay. So they were already there?
No, ma'am, only confident was there.
So what were your adjectives? Because you had written 5 adjectives for yourself.
Ma'am, my adjectives were responsive, confident, energetic, accepting.
Accepting. Okay. And what have your friends written for you that was not on your list?
Friendly, cheerful, caring, calm.
Great. So this is a new revelation to you, that this is what people think about me?
Yes, ma'am.
This is a new revelation. Okay. So according to Joe and Harry, as I said, that we have 4 personality aspects. One aspect is known to us. Now, arena. Arena is the area that you know and what your friends also know. And you said only one was the one which I knew and my friends also knew. That was confident. That was there common on both the list. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. Now 4 other points, that is cheerful, calm, friendly, caring, that was not on your list. So they are your blind spots. That means You were not aware of your own qualities or your own strengths. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am, I agree, but there was limit in so I
No, see what happens when there is a limit, and when people choose something that I did not choose, that means they see this thing in me which I don't see that much. That's the idea. And collectively,
definitely.
see, all of them have a lot of time written confident and friendly for you. So that means they've used, I mean, not just one, two, three friends have used that word for you. So that means these are your strengths and you are not aware. So same way with your good friends, you can ask them to even look for your negative adjectives, which I did not deliberately ask because I didn't want to, hurt anybody here. But at the same time, if you see the third one, that is facade, green area. So things that you had written for yourself, but none of your friends identified. Like you said, responsible or responsive. I think you mentioned that.
I'm friendly, cheerful, caring, and calm.
That is given by your friends.
Yes, ma'am.
But besides confident, you had written 4 more for yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
And what were they?
Responsive, energetic, accepting.
3. But see, these 3 words have not come from your friends. So that means you think I have them, but others do not believe that. That's like a facade. So this way, each one of us can find out about ourselves, especially with the help of people who know us. So when you will work with your friends, you will get to know about some aspects of yourself which others know, but you do not know. So that's like your blind spot. Similarly, some things that I think I am, but I am not, and people don't agree that. So that is more like facade. Now, if I go by the explanation given by Johari, as I said, Joseph and Harry were 2 people who gave this concept, and this is called Johari window. Johari window says there are 4 parts of our personality. Part 1 is I know and others also know, and that is called public self. So all of us have a part of personality which is known to self and known to others, and it is called public self. The second part is something that I know, but others do not know, and that part is called private self. The third part of our personality is called blind spot. That means others know, but I don't know. So surprisingly, this is something with me, but I do not know. And then of course, there's a fourth aspect that's called area of unknown activity. Neither I know nor others know. So what studies say? Studies say that individual with larger public self, that means those who have a more open public self or public figure, they are more likely to be happy, cheerful, successful in life. Like I was pointing out to Shubham or to, I think, who was I saying this? Let me just close this and see. 1 second, there's somebody. Okay. Yeah. So, like Seema was saying that, like I am different to look at, but I'm different inside. To you, it might give a very interesting self-image. But when it comes to dealing with people, when it comes to winning their trust, when it comes to having them on board, if that's the personality I have, where my public self is very small, when I'm not open, then people are not comfortable working with me. They will not enjoy working with me. They will not share their personal things with me because they'll fear that I might not handle their information very well. So people with the larger public self, they studies suggest that they are more successful, cheerful, satisfied, and they enjoy their life. On the other side, people with larger blind spot, that means you don't know yourself. You can see their public self is less, their self-awareness is also less. So as a result, they don't know what their good or bad qualities are. People with larger area of unknown activity are also very mysterious. Probably you will not be able to connect very well with this kind of people. And then people with larger private self, again, people will not be comfortable. अगर आप मैं हिंदी में कहूँ तो जैसे हम कहते हैं ना कि किसी को देख के हम कहते हैं कि ये बहुत घुन्ना है या ये बहुत घुन्नी है. So that means these people don't open up. They don't share themselves. So people who think that I'm mysterious and it's nice for me, actually people will view you as a private person. And then you will have difficulty connecting with them, and even they will have difficulty connecting with you. So if I may ask you, how can you create a larger public self? Can you suggest something in the chat box? Or if you want, you can unmute and speak. If I say larger public self is good, so how can you create a larger public self? Write in the chat box, or you can unmute and speak. Okay. Shivam says, open yourself more and more to public, interact more and more. Okay. Sneha says, by interacting with people. Okay. So that means, okay, first of all, be open with your teachers. Absolutely, Seema, I think you're spot on. Any other idea? Whatever we feel naturally in the moment, we should express with the surroundings. Siddhant, that's nice. I'll add a point to it, although it's a very good point that you have mentioned. So one is people with whom we are going to be together. For example, with your friends, you're going to be together for almost 5 years, or maybe more than 5 years. So that means I need to have some amount of rapport with them. I need to have some amount of quality of interaction. So in a lot of colleges, like when there are students like 150, 250, I think in Mbbs there are 250 students. So when I make them do some activity, a lot of time they say, I'm interacting with this batchmate of mine for the first time. Even if they are in second year, third year, fourth year, or final year. That means usually what happens, we have just few friends and we become very thick with them, and with all others, we completely disconnect, which is not a very healthy practice. It's important to have a set of good friends with whom you can share anything. I'm sure you'll have some people at home, maybe your parents or your family members, immediate family members, or maybe school friends. So here you'll take some time to open up with your classmates and with others. But you will find somebody with whom you can relate very well and you can talk and share your thoughts. So it's always good to have one or two people with whom you can share your inner self. But in general, interacting with everyone is very important. So in case if you're closing down to only just 2-3 students and to rest others you're not talking, that's not a very healthy way of interaction. At least have a good rapport with everyone. Second thing, with teachers also. Like if you're not interacting with your teacher, naturally teacher will also, see, pardon me for saying this, usually teachers would be interacting more with the students who are prompt in answering, who are attentively listening, who come prepared for the class, who are usually sitting on the front bench. Tell me if I'm wrong. So choice is yours. Do you want to be among those students with whom the teacher interacts, or you just want to be sitting at the back or not interacting, not participating, not answering? Then what will happen? Your learning will get affected. See, learning and teaching, they go hand in hand. You may think teaching is teacher's responsibility. Correct, I agree. But learning is your responsibility. So 50% teaching and 50% learning, then there is 100% actual impact. So as a student, if you're not participating, you're not interacting, you're not answering, you're not reading and coming, you will not be able to participate. So what I tell students, if you really want to be in the good books of your teachers and also for your own self, don't read what your teacher has taught you today. Make it a habit after the end of the class, ask your teacher, what are we going to discuss tomorrow? Go home and read that, whatever the teacher is going to cover tomorrow. So one, you'll become familiar with the content. Second, in the class, when the teacher will be teaching, you will have some idea about what the teacher is talking. Third, if you will have some doubt, you will be able to ask. Fourth, in case if teacher asks you something, you will very smartly be able to answer because you will at least know better than your classmates. So now imagine how your impression on your teacher starts going up. And when you go with this approach, your teacher is very impressed with your, okay, you know about this. Even maybe you have read it just one day in advance, that's all. So after the class, if you'll go and read now, you will be quickly able to remember because you have already read previous day, you have interacted in the class with your teacher, you have asked questions, and then you have go back and read. It's just 5 minutes, 10 minutes reading. But always read one day in advance if you want to be active in the class. Because if you are not prepared, if you have no idea what the teacher is teaching, naturally if teacher will ask you, you are not expected to know. And if you don't know, you will not have confidence to speak. If you will not have confidence to speak, you will never interact with your teacher. So reverse the order. Reverse the order. Just go one step ahead of your teacher. So that does not mean that you are going to challenge your teacher's knowledge. No. Or you're going to make her feel big or small, that, oh, I know more than you know. Idea is not that. Idea is if you have read it once, you are slightly better prepared and you will be able to participate. That's one of the key ways of changing your position in your class. And you will see each one of you, teacher will know, okay, this student is serious, sincere, responsible, reads and that's the way you can, change your relationship with your teacher. Now, coming to the answers that you have given, whatever you feel, like Siddhant says, whatever you feel naturally in the moment, we should express with the surrounding. Yes, we should be able to express, but then we need to know what is the right way of expressing. A lot of time we become angry and we express in a bad manner. Later on, we regret, oh, that was not the way to speak to the teacher. Like some of you were saying in the beginning, that we are hesitant to speak because we are unsure if the way I'm saying is all right or wrong. So that means I should know if I have to say something, the way of telling has to be also appropriate. Communication is not what I say. Communication is how I say. So a lot of the vocabulary that you use, of course, we'll be talking about that. And then the language that you will use, tone of voice, body language, everything has a role. So you need to be aware of that. Then Seema says, open with your teachers. I think, Seema, I have answered your question and I've also given you an idea how you can open with your teacher. Because if you will answer in the class, your teacher can never miss you. Teacher can never miss you. She or he will immediately know that this student is very responsible. Yes, Sneha, I agree. Interact with your classmates, interact with people. Don't hesitate to interact. Your interaction should show your confidence, your knowledge, your ability. That's very right. So as I said, if you want to increase your public self, I think one of the good ways, interact more with people and also reduce your private self. So when I say reduce your private self, I don't mean that go at the crossroad and start shouting, oh, I have this problem, I have these issues, I have this problem at home, I have, dysfunctional family, or my parents have this issue, or no, I'm not saying that. By reducing private self, I mean, don't try to keep unnecessary things in the private self which are not required. A lot of time we hide things. Ravi, you're busy with talking to somebody?
No, ma'am, I'm asking for water bottle.
You're asking for?
Water bottle.
Sorry, I didn't get you. But that's okay. Stay, please stay. Because if you get distracted, even I get distracted with you. So, but you should always have somebody with whom you can talk. So it could be your parents, it could be your brother, sister, very close friend, but there should be somebody whom you can go and talk. So even in the classroom with your batchmates, you'll find a couple of students who do not open up. You'll find some students who do not easily, share what they're going through. And a lot of time when we get to hear that somebody has attempted suicide or somebody is in depression, it happens a lot among medical professionals. And it's so unfortunate that being in this subject of medicine, if we can't identify depression or a tendency to suicide, that means we are failing in helping each other. We are failing in identifying people who need help. So among your friends also, I'm sure you can identify students who are, who are in need of help or who have some health issues. Preetham, I think you're not attentive or you're busy doing something. It looks, strange when you are interacting with somebody while being in the class. Will it be okay if in between I take a phone call or if I start talking to somebody, will it be all right for all of you? Will you appreciate? I don't think you will appreciate. Same stands true for you. Don't give the behavior that you would not expect somebody else to do for you. So, but you should have somebody with whom you can talk. So what I was saying, that there will be a couple of classmates who are not very confident. Maybe they come from humble background. Maybe their language skills are not good. Maybe they don't speak very well. Maybe their expression is not good. Maybe to look at, they don't look very smart and very, coming from very well-to-do family. But being their classmate, if you make little effort to connect with them, to become friends with them, to be, available to them, to support them, you can make them open up. And luckily you are a small class. 50, 60 students is not a big class at all. Normally in medical colleges, we have 200, 250 students. So there I can still understand that you don't get to meet each other, but here it's just 50, 60 students. So keep an eye on each other, connect with each other, especially where you feel that, okay, this person might need help. So those of you who are coming from affluent class, who are, well-to-do, coming from good schools, have good personality, good language skills, be each other's buddy and help each other and, help them grow with you. And everybody has a quality. If they are quiet, I'm sure they'll have some quality which works well for you. So, you can be, you can complement each other. So as I was saying, that if you will open up, if you reduce your private self, so automatically your public self area will increase. Similarly, when you will talk to your friends and tell them about your, problem, there will be some amount of feedback coming from them. So this is self-disclosure. If you want to, increase your public self, reduce your private self by self-disclosure. So when you will tell about your problem to somebody, the other person will definitely come up with some idea, some feedback. So for example, if you say that I am not doing well in my studies, for example, this is what you share with your classmate. And then that classmate says, yeah, I know, I see you wasting a lot of time. I think you are moving around a lot. So probably that's the reason you're not able to sit and study. So your friend has given you a feedback. Or you say that this is what is my problem. And your friend says, I think it's all right. All of us, like you say, I'm feeling homesick. And then the other friend says, yeah, even I feel homesick and this is what I do to not to feel homesick. So you are getting some feedback. So that will automatically help you reduce your blind self. So you can see private self going down, blind self going down, automatically the public self will become better. So through self-disclosure and feedback, you can improve your public self. Okay. So this was in a nutshell about how do you really make friends and become friends and open your arena with your friends. And that's a continuous process. That's a continuous process which you should continue doing. A lot of our communication style is actually already preset. How many of you have done that questionnaire that I had sent in the group? Please raise your hands. If you can raise your virtual hand, then it will be easy for me to count. Please raise your virtual hand. Yeah, I can see 3 hands. Okay. 7 people, 6 people. How about others? 9. Okay. Okay. Fine. So if you have done it, okay, 8 people have done. Is that 9? 9 people have done it. So write in the chat box your 4 scores. Your first score, your second score, your third score, and your fourth score. Write in the chat box. Sneha, you have written only 1 score. You have to write all 4. Yeah, that's right. 18, 8, 11, 11. Okay. So I can see 1, 2, 3, 4 scores. What about others? What about others? Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 people. Okay. So did you get any meaning from the scores? Anybody? Did you try to understand the meaning of the scores? See, all of us handle difficult situations or situations with this kind of disagreement or some kind of conflict very differently. For example, some of us become quiet in this situation. We don't speak up at all. For example, when we are in a group, others are sharing their point of view, but there will be some of you who will be just quiet, who will not speak up. Especially if the group is thinking on some different lines and you think you are not in agreement with them, you will not express yourself. You will not speak up. You will not say what you are thinking. And when you know the other's point of view is different from my point of view. That style of communication is called passive communication. So your second scores, in front of your second scores, write down for yourself passive communication style scores. So people who are using this as the way of handling situations, they will usually not be proactive in their interaction. They will not go and promptly meet people or talk or initiate any interaction. So they will not go to the teacher or to any senior and ask for help. They'll just keep quiet, stay, very quiet. They will not take action. So your second scores are your passive communication scores. So even if somebody is kind of embarrassing them or using some wrong language for them or misbehaving with them, they will not speak up. They will just keep quiet and tolerate it. That is passive communication. The second way of handling difficult situations or such situation is passive aggressive communication style. So what is passive aggressive communication style? When we don't like what the other person is saying or doing, but we don't say anything on the face, but we are cribbing inside. So a lot of time you will see students will not say if they feel bad in the situation, but they'll come back and talk about it later on with other friends. And they may talk ill about that friend or maybe teacher or maybe any behavior that they have received. So this is passive aggressive. To look at the other person is looking very silent, but actually they are internally not happy. So people who are passive aggressive, again, they will not take responsibility. They will not speak up. They will not share their thoughts. They will not come out with their honest feelings. But later on, they will talk ill about the person or situation or whatever you are doing. So whatever you have done, they'll come back and say, आपने मेरे से पूछा था, मैं बताती ऐसा कर सकते हैं, या मुझे बताते तो मैं ये कर देता. But in this situation, they will not speak. So do you see such kind of behavior among your friends? Don't name anybody, please. But do you see such type of behavior?
Yes.
Okay. So can you think of any one example where that's what their normal behavior or pattern of behavior is? उनके बात करने के तरीके में हमेशा सरकाज़म होगा, क्रिटिसिज्म होगा, फॉल्ट फाइंडिंग वाला होगा, हर चीज के पीछे इफ और बट होगा, और वो हमेशा दूसरे के काम में कोई ना कोई गलती निकालेंगे. Even if you have given your best, you'll say that was not. So you'll see them usually, finding fault and criticizing and using sarcasm. So agar nahi pata to ab you will become mindful of it. So your third score is your passive aggressive communication style score. So ऐसे लोग मुंह पे कुछ नहीं बोलेंगे, but पीठ पीछे they'll sit and talk ill. मजाक उड़ाएंगे, गलतियां निकालेंगे. Okay. Then a lot of people become instantly aggressive. मतलब छोटी सी बात होगी, एकदम से गुस्सा आ जाएगा, जोर से बोलने लगेंगे, चिल्ला देंगे, धक्का मार देंगे, कभी कभी गाली गलौज भी कर देते हैं. Of course, we don't expect this from civilized people, but then we see them sometimes becoming extremely aggressive in a situation. They'll not realize what they are doing, but they will just kind of insult people or hurt people verbally or in their way of handling. And that style is called aggressive communication style. So your fourth scores are your aggressive communication style scores. Most of us are able to say what we want to say or what we think in a positive way, in a right way, with the right tone of voice, with the right words. And that is called assertive communication. So your first score is your assertive communication score. So if I look at your scores, most of you have attained highest scores on assertive communication. Most of you. Like Shivam, in your case, your high score is 20. Ravi, in your case, your high score is 19. Sneha, even your highest score is 18. Tane, even your score is 20. Okay, who else? Okay. But there's a slight twist in this. The twist is your first effort will be to assert. But for example, if the situation will become difficult, or you are dealing with the person with whom you think I cannot assert, your second highest score is the style that you will pick in that situation. That means if I take whose scores? 1 second. Okay, I take Ravi Kumar's score. Ravi. So in your case, you will try asserting. But in case if you think this is not the place to assert, or especially if it is a person in a higher authority and you think it may be taken as arrogance or rudeness, you are more likely to become passive in that situation. So you will withdraw. You will not say anything, but you will become quiet. Do you agree with your scores?
Yes, ma'am.
If I look at Rakhi, your scores, So Rakhi, what do you understand from your scores? Your scores are 17, 12, 18, 11. What do you understand from your scores? Can you unmute and speak?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, passive aggressive combination.
So if you see your scores of assertion and passive aggressive are almost same, 17 and 18, with the difference of only 1. So you are using both these styles alternatively. There's not much of a difference. So that means your dominant style is neither assertion nor passive aggressive, rather both of them. Depending upon the situation, depending upon the person with whom you are interacting, you can either become passive aggressive or you can become assertive. So again, as we know, passive aggressive is not a healthy style. If you are using passive aggressive style, the risk is people will not trust you. People will not have faith in your way of handling things because they know you may say something, but then at the back you may talk ill about that situation. So it's good to move on to assertion. Seema, if I look at your scores, what do you infer from your scores, Seema?
Ma'am, I'm both assertive and passive communicator.
So actually your both the scores are not very high. That means assertion भी बहुत high नहीं है और passive भी बहुत high नहीं है, दोनों ही medium level पर हैं. But then these are your primary ways of handling situations. You try to assert, or in case you think assertion will not work, you are more likely to move on to passive and you will withdraw it in that situation. Do you agree with your scores?
Somewhat, yes, ma'am.
Because these scores are the result of your answers. So whatever answers you have given, it's based on that. So, I mean, you have answered this, so you know it better. How carefully have you done it? Shivam, if I look at your scores, Shivam Sharma. So,
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so your highest score is assertion, which is all right, 19. But at the same time, if you look at your passive aggressive scores and your aggressive scores, they are quite close by. So that means you will assert, but in case if you think assertion will not work, or in case assertion does not work, you are likely to move on to either becoming passive aggressive or aggressive. Do you agree with your scores?
Yes, ma'am.
It happens?
Yes,
you become aggressive with people?
Aggressive. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So Siddhant, in your case also, your assertion score is not very high. It is 16, which is okay, but not very high. But in case if that does not work, actually you can move on to any style. It can be passive, it can be passive aggressive, or it can be even aggressive also. So you may choose any style depending upon maybe the situation, the person with whom you are interacting, or you are, maybe if you don't want to handle the situation, you may withdraw, or you may become quiet, but internally you may be upset and you may crave, but then you will not come out and assert in that situation. So I think this is the, does this give you an idea about your way of communication?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So in any case, in public dealing and in your personal life, and also dealing with your friends and your teachers, assertion is the right way of communication. What do we mean by assertion? What do we mean by assertion? You can unmute and speak, or you can write in the chat box. What do we mean by assertion? Because that's a very important skill, and sooner you learn, more impactful will become your communication with your friends and family and teachers. What do we mean by assertion? Okay, Siddhant says it is, we read what it is. Yeah, positive statement in particular condition. Okay, that's nice that you have that clarity that it has to be a positive way of saying what you want to say. That's a good aspect you have talked about. Anything else? What do others say? What do we mean by assertion? You can unmute or you can write in the chat box. Statement without any evidence. Tane, that means, can you unmute and say what exactly you mean by this?
Yes, ma'am.
Please explain.
It's just a statement from our point of view.
So can you give an example? Yeah. So, okay, I give you a situation in a classroom. There are a couple of students who are talking and you are not the one who is talking, but teacher feels that you are the one who is talking. And she points out to you and she says, Tane, you are disturbing everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
So how would you respond in an assertive manner in this situation? You said it is without any evidence. So what exactly you mean by this? Give me an example. I'm glad that you tried answering. I'm happy about that. But I want you to go back with clarity what exactly assertion is.
I'll just say it's not my fault. I was not talking.
Okay, that's one way. What do others say? Suppose if you were in Tane's position, you were not the one who was talking, but your teacher shouts at you and she says, Tane, you are disturbing everybody. You're not letting me complete my class. So how else can Tane answer? Give an example.
He can say, sorry, ma'am, it will not happen again.
Sorry, ma'am, it will not happen again, but Tane has not been disturbing. He was not the one who was disturbing. So Shivam, if you say sorry for something that you have not done, again, you are forfeiting your rights. You are just saying sorry to save the situation because you want to avoid conflict. If that becomes my way of life, then I'll always be saying sorry to people for not any fault. It's not a healthy way of handling a situation. But thank you for answering, Shivam. I think you made an attempt. I'm happy about that. What do others say?
Ma'am, his friends may say he was not the one who was talking.
Friends may not say at all, but Tane has to defend himself or at least reply. So how can Tane answer in a manner that looks more like assertion? Try. Anybody? Try your hands. It's okay. It's just a statement you're trying to say. Even if it goes wrong, what's wrong? See, if we don't know, then we will not be able to speak in the actual situation.
And he can say that we'll try not to let it happen again from my side.
But again, Siddhant, he hasn't done that at all. He was not the one who was talking. He was not there. The other two friends were talking, but it appeared that as though he's the one who is talking. That's the situation. So
Ma'am, he can say, ma'am, you have misunderstood and I was not the one who was talking.
Okay, that's again a good way, so that at least you communicated that it's not me who has done it. So for example, if Tane says, Ma'am, I think there's some confusion. It wasn't me who was talking. These two students were talking and I was not the one who was talking. So you have clearly expressed in a polite manner, respectful manner, but you have clearly not taken the responsibility of something that you have not done. Yes, Siddhant, you wish to say something?
Ma'am, but in the same way, we are also in a position of to protect our friends itself. So in that way, we would be like, we should accept that instead of blaming it.
So see, very honestly, even if you don't blame, either blame comes on you or your friends. So I don't think your friends will catch hold of your collar and say, why did you name me? So it's not something that you have stolen something and you are being blamed for stealing. But in the classroom, I'm sure students do some sort of talking. But when you are pointed out, if you are confidently able to say that it wasn't me, then you slowly learn to protect your rights. Otherwise, others might put blame on you for something that you have not done. So that way you have to protect your rights. Neither violate others' rights and nor take others, give others to exploit your rights. That's assertion. So assertion has 5 elements. When you say something honestly, openly, confidently, positively, and respectfully. 5 things. So in assertion, we are not adamant, or we are not rude, or we are not using wrong language. Your language has to be good, your tone of voice has to be all right, your confidence has to be there, but then you have to speak up for yourself. So in public dealing tomorrow, when you will be dealing with your patients, you will need to assert a number of points. For example, your patient is not ready to sign the consent. What will happen? What will happen? If patient says, Doctor, मैं sign तो नहीं करूँगा, क्या करोगे? भैया नहीं कराओगे तो भाग जाओ यहाँ से. तो ये क्या हुआ? Assertion हुआ. क्या हुआ? ये मैंने बोला भाग जाओ यहाँ से, नहीं करोगे साइन, भाग जाओ यहाँ से. एग्रेशन हुआ. नहीं, एग्रेशन हुआ. मैंने भगा रही हूँ उसको, मैं तो एग्रेशन हुआ. पैसिव होगी तो मैं भैया करना है करो, नहीं करना मत करो, नहीं करोगे तो नहीं सर्जरी होगी. ये पैसिव हो गया, है ना. और अगर मैं जाकर वहां पे अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ बात करके बोली, ये कैसा पेशेंट है, इसको इतनी भी अक्ल नहीं है, सर्जरी इसकी करवानी है, कंसेंट इसको करना है, टाइम मेरा खराब कर रहा है, कैसे होगा? ये पैसिव एग्रेशन है. आई एम नॉट टेलिंग एनी टू द पेशेंट, बट आई एम कमिंग बैक एंड टॉकिंग इल अबाउट इट. ऑन द कॉन्ट्ररी, अगर मैं उसके साथ बैठकर बात करती हूँ कि भैया एक तरीका है, अगर सर्जरी होनी है तो उसके लिए हमें ये आपको पूरे बीमारी और इलाज के बारे में मुझे आपको एक्सप्लेन करना है, जो मैं करूंगा या करूंगी. उसके बाद अगर आप सर्जरी के लिए तैयार हैं तो आपको इस पे साइन करने पड़ेंगे, तभी आपकी सर्जरी हो पाएगी. तो यू कैन सी आई हैव एक्सप्लेन्ड एवरीथिंग, व्हाई आई नीड टू get the signature. I'm not rude, I'm not authoritative, I'm not intimidating, I'm respectful, I'm very honest, very open, and I'm informing the patient that if you want this surgery to be done, you will have to sign this, only then I will be able to operate. So that is assertion. So assertion is not being adamant, and assertion is not being aggressive, but in assertion you are firm. In assertion, you say what you want to say in a very clear manner. That's the purpose of assertion. And when you will start asserting in your personal life and in your professional life, you will see people will start respecting your words. They will listen to you. They'll agree with you because they will trust that you don't speak unnecessary. You will not do loose talking. Your language will be respectful. Your tone of voice will be good, friendly but firm. Your body language will not be aggressive. So when we assert, there are a couple of things that we have to be mindful of. First one is language. The language has to be respectful. So even if you are talking to somebody who is much younger to you, never go down to the level of tu and tum. Because the moment you will use that language for somebody, the other person might also use the same language for you, which will be very hurtful. So language has to be good. Second is your paralanguage. What is paralanguage? One is your tone of voice. So tone of voice has to be firm, friendly, but not aggressive. चिल्लाकर बात नहीं करनी है, गुस्से से बात नहीं करनी है. So tone of voice firm होगी, but aggressive नहीं होगी. Second is your speed of speaking. Speed of speaking बढ़नी नहीं चाहिए. Normally aggressive होती है, हमारी speed of speaking बढ़ जाती है. तो हमें लगता है I'm asserting, but you have actually become aggressive. Volume of your speech also has to be same. It should not increase. Volume बढ़ते ही लगेगा कि you have become aggressive. So when you are talking, your paralanguage, that means tone, volume, and speed of talking has to be kept, within normal range. And third is your body language. So facial expressions, eye contact, the way you stand, the way you sit, everything has a communication to make. Any idea what percentage of communication is non-verbal? कितना है? कुछ guess है?
60%.
60%. Okay, Siddhant says 50%. Any other guess?
80%.
80%? 93% of the communication is non-verbal. उसमें 55% body language है, 38% tone of voice है, 7% आपके words हैं. That makes 100%. So जब आप लोग बैठे हुए हो यहाँ पे, तो 55% of the communication तब भी हो रहा है जब आप लोग नहीं बोल रहे हो. और जिस तरह से आप बैठे हुए हो, जो आपकी facial expressions हैं, नॉड कर रहे हो, नहीं कर रहे हो, स्माइल कर रहे हो, नहीं कर रहे हो, यहाँ देख रहे हो, वहां देख रहे हो, नोट्स बना रहे हो, नहीं बना रहे हो, डिस्ट्रैक्टेड हो, किसी और की तरफ ध्यान जा रहा है बार बार. All that is making communication. So in classroom, when you are with your teachers, you have to be mindful of your body language, facial expressions, eye contact, nodding. All that is part of communication. So जो लोग नहीं बोल रहे, बिल्कुल नहीं बोल रहे, चुप बैठे हुए हैं, even then you are communicating with me. And if somebody is not having their camera on, even that is a communication that you are making with me. Similarly, when you are interacting with your teachers, put your best foot forward, because they are the one who are going to mentor you for all these years. And once you become their best student, automatically you get the best guidance from them, best help from them. So assertion is a skill which comes with a lot of practice. It's better if you start practicing right now. Assertion will help you to protect your rights so that your friends do not exploit you, they don't ill-treat you, they don't insult you, they don't bully you, they don't misbehave with you. So assertion will help you to handle those situations. Assertion will also help you to have good relationship with your teachers, because if you are able to speak clearly, if you are able to say what you want to say, automatically your teacher will have a good impression of your communication ability. That's the beauty of assertion. And once you have practiced it, tomorrow when you will be with your patients, I'm sure you see some of your teachers interacting very well with their patients, very confident, very clear. They are able to answer, they are able to handle. Whereas some of the teachers you see, they are here and there. They are not very comprehensive, they are not very clear, they are not very concise, because their communication skills are not in place. So choose what do you want to be, what kind of doctor you want to be. But assertion is a very, very helpful skill. It comes with a lot of practice. You have to be really mindful of what you're doing or what you're saying. That will help you learn the right way of communicating. So this is in a nutshell about your communication with your friends and teachers who are right now your first circle of support and care. And if you develop good rapport with both this set of people, automatically your life becomes easy. They are there to help you. कभी हम बीमार पड़ जाते हैं, कभी कोई पढ़ाई को लेकर कोई कंसर्न आ जाता है, कोई इमोशनल इशू आ जाता है. These are the people who are going to be available for you. who are going to help you. Of course, parents can worry about you, especially when they're far off. The moment you'll call them and tell them that this is my problem, they may get upset, but they can't every time come and help you. It's your set of friends and teachers who are going to be able to. And that's your first circle of support. And you should always nurture and look after this circle of support. It has to be created. It will not happen on its own. And greatly depends on your approach, what kind of public image you have. If your image is that you are non-interactive, you are passive, you don't share information, or you are possessive, or you are secretive, then people will distance themselves from you. It will not help you much. So it's very important to open up, to connect, to interact with people. Automatically, you will also start growing in that process. And then assertion is the right communication style with anybody and everybody. Even when you're talking to a very senior person, but if you're able to assert in a confident manner, in a positive manner, trust me, people take notice of that communication. It cannot go unnoticed. That has to be learned. It will not come automatically. Usually we don't value. Tell me how many of you really make an effort to improve your communication style. Till now, you all must be thinking, this is what I am, that's all. It's okay, this is what I am, but I can always make a better version of myself. Yes, Vikash, you want to say something?
No, ma'am.
Okay. You raised your hand, so I thought maybe you want to say something. That's all right. So with this, we come to the end of this session. The next session is on a very interesting topic again, which will help you groom yourself, make a better version of yourself, and that's professional etiquettes. So personal grooming and professional etiquette we'll cover in the next session. And any questions you have about it, we will discuss about that. This session will be on Saturday morning, 8 to 10. So I request everyone to join on time so that you get the best of it. And whatever questions you have, if you'll come prepared, it will make this session more interactive. Like I said, I'm sharing the topic with you. Read about it, have your questions, come up with your questions. The whole quality of session will be very different. So should we close the session here? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. So see you all on Saturday. Bye-bye.